Gentlemen, welcome back to the Acer Team Story Cup Season 3 qualifiers. The score between these two teams is currently 4-2. That puts IVD Gaming on their last life as My Insanity currently leads 4-2. This could be it. This could be the start of a comeback. It's all on Puck. No pressure. Anyway, spawning here though in the lower left corner of the map, the man who secured quite a few victories today for My Insanity. Looking to lock this out. It's going to be the light blue Terran player, Jakshi.
In the top right, as the red Protoss, it is Puck.
Now, we kind of talked a little bit, I wouldn't even call it jokingly, but like legitimately, as much as I hate to encourage it, some sort of all-in out of Puck, whether it's by Stargate, whether it's by Blink Stalkers, he's got to make something work against Jakshi. And the reality is right now, guys, Blink Stalkers, as we witnessed through IEM, or we've witnessed in countless other events, they can take down some of the best players in the world. Now, granted, that doesn't mean they're an auto win. Good Terran players can still hold them off, and Jakshi is certainly one of those caliber players. So this may be like the last thing Puck is thinking about. But one thing's for certain, like in the late game, I'm really worried for Puck if it goes late.
I don't know why, but I just didn't consider Blink all in at all for this map. But I don't watch a lot of TVPs on this map, I suppose, because it's not a bad map for it either, technically. Well, you can't get into the natural, but
like Revival like 4-gated on this map, or not Revival, was it Puzzle like 4-gated on this map? So I mean, like weird things can happen on All-3C. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. But that is a strong all-in. You're right. That is definitely the biggest all-in I feel that they have. I mean, they used to have like back in beta. Remember like the Oracle into Oracle all-in where you bust the bunkers. That sucks. Of course, anything with an Immortal, not very common. But things like opening with just an Oracle, getting a lot of damage done or some damage done, and then putting yourself better into the mid game is definitely something that can work out and doesn't actually require that much investment. It's not a do or die situation. But you have to see what Puck feels like doing. If he feels confident enough, maybe he can survive the mid game and get to that super late game where it can be difficult. Or I don't know.
The thing about this map too, that's kind of advantageous though, if we're going to talk about like what Protoss has going for them. All cheese and macro on the other side is, this is a map where you can actually defend with 1 sentry against early pushers. And that's something Jakshi's actually really a big fan of, where you see him, he'll go for 2 racks, 3 racks in this case because he's gone gasless, and pump out a lot of units early on to be really aggressive. And usually he'll snipe off the mothership core, there won't even be an overcharge because it's going down. 1 sentry, 1 forceful, it locks off this ramp, so Puck can comfortably play instead of actually losing a natural base like sometimes ends up being the case.
Unfortunately, Puck did have to go ahead and get the regular opener out. You know, he had to get that Stalker in the Militia Core in case the Reaper came by. Unfortunately, Jakshi went for 14 CC. So Jachi's pretty good in the economic department. Puck's going for a Stargate though. This could deal some return damage.
Well, this is really important that Jakshi went for 3 barracks, guys. If you don't have a reactor out, you need 3 barracks. Because 2 rounds to make 3 Marines at a time for 6 Marines in total, you need exactly that much. And it's frustrating too, because I remember you specifically asking me, there's times where like you watch some of the better Terran players like Apocalypse fall to Oracles because they're 1 Marine short. Just 1 Marine short. So having 3 barracks is so key compared to 2, guys.
Well, this is the building over 14 CC. You need to get the 2 racks out immediately after the 14 CC, and then of course the 3rd one is going to be very beneficial.
I want to actually point out something big that Puck just did. First off, forcing a scan out of Jakshi. Does not see the Stargate, actually. So close to being in range. But more importantly than that, he actively found Jakshi's 2nd SCV, and this is something Jakshi classically does if he can't get that first one, especially when he doesn't have the Reaper, where his scouting is immaculate in StarCraft 2. One of the big things is he'll hide SCVs around the 3rd to bring them in later. He rallied that 1 SCV all the way around the map to try and circumvent the Stalkers, but Puck caught it.
Look at this Stalker. It's like, oh, I can walk up here. He will have his Marines in position for an Oracle. Yes, he does.
Yeah, so there's 6 per mineral line. Unless he decides to move out, which there's no indication that he will.
Oh, well, he's moving his Marines right now.
Well, the turret will be up though. So
yeah, it will actually. You're right. That was perfectly timed.
A little bit worrisome, of course, because there's so many times too, like whether you're watching somebody or you've experienced yourself on the ladder, like you'll have the Marines, you'll have the defense, and you'll move it just like 2 seconds too soon.
Oh, this is actually not looking too good for Puck now.
No, it's
as
really
this
not.
Oracle
Big
gets
push.
completely deflected, he might not even try and go for the main, even though the main doesn't have a missile turret, just because you figure they will, honestly. But if Jotchi continues to push out, although on this map maybe not. If it was any other map where the ramp was large, if you do the push out when they go for an Oracle opener, they just don't have a lot to defend. You know, like Yansu, for instance, they won't have enough force fields or anything like that. But with just one ramp to cover, Puck's actually okay until Medivacs.
This is, again, it's kind of scary though. It's just such a brute force amount of units. Going for the tech lab, if he could have focused that, he can't now, but if he could have, that would have been huge delaying stim.
Yeah, it would have. And you definitely can. If there's no army near, you can get a tech lab with oracles. One oracle gets really, really low, but does survive. And this one, Mr. is going to come up now that Jotchi, I guess, figures he can afford it, I suppose.
Actually, interestingly enough, I'm thinking back, the build Grubby did versus Jotchi a long time ago for IEM qualifiers was actually really cool, where he went for the Phoenix Colossus build.
Yeah.
The problem is, I'm not sure if Puck's going to be comfortable doing something like that. He is going for Colossus, of course, but not looking to accompany it with Phoenixes or anything. Would have been a great way to use that Stargate, though.
Yeah, definitely not the most popular way. I'd say that Phoenix Colossus is actually, like, I guess there's only really two styles, honestly, you know, High Templars and Colossus. But yeah, the third one would be, you know, Phoenix Colossus, and that's least common. But anyways, it should be looking to get up to Storm relatively quickly after Colossus, though. Some people like to stay on Colossus for a very long time, but with the upgrades as well, I want to get Twilight Council up and ready. He's getting +1 armor first, even though he's getting Colossus.
Armor's kind of, I feel, generically better, though. I mean, it's so easy to swarm. Even if Zealots don't have charge, a wall of Zealots with armor is just, it's the best buffer in the game.
When you get Colossus, it's because you're going to get a lot of Blink Stalkers, usually 2. Unless you're going to go for just 1 or 2. You should be getting 2, because he's investing in the Extended Thermal Lance. But if he's going to immediately change into Charge with Archon afterwards, and yeah, the +1 armor would really work out. Which I think he's going to do. First is to defend this attack, though. Jotchi is at the front of his door.
This is double supply as well. I mean, an overcharge is going to be nice. A time warp will be cool, but that's so limited on what it'll do to help. Force fields are going to be necessary in this ramp. Catching units. There we go. Keep them out.
Yeah.
Puck needs time. That's what he really needs. There's been pylons scattered all over the map for counterattacks, but that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Why did he stim? Must have been a misclick. Tried to get into the natural, or I guess part of the lower main, I guess we're gonna call it. Yeah, did not quite work out though. Doesn't have blink. He is getting blink actually. Okay, so he is gonna invest a lot in a Colossus, but he's also getting +1 armor. Okay.
Defensively this is perfect for Puck, but he can't play the entire game in his main. He's eventually gonna have to fight elsewhere, and I mean, the longer he has Jotchi, the better it's going to be. Because again, Joxi's already got an army lead, which is hard enough to do versus Protoss as is, but it's an army that if he engages in the open will be fine.
Why does he?
I like that he scanned. He made sure the observer couldn't see him go for this drop, but it's going to run into the observer over here.
Right? Yeah. So that was weird. If he just went straight into the main right after that scan, he would have done great. Oh well. That's going to be a setup, I guess, for later use. Where is he going?
I guess hiding for the time being, hoping to catch Puck off guard.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyways,
catches a probe. No expansion for Puck.
Yeah. Jotchi doesn't quite know how fast Storm's gonna be coming up behind this. You're just, kind of guessing as a Terran player, honestly. And around maybe 15-16 minutes, you're gonna assume that they're gonna be getting it and get your own ghosts accordingly.
Oh, that is so cool! Jotchi knew the observer would be brought for the Widow Mine, so that's why he was hanging out for so long. Cool. Now Puck's gonna get caught off guard by this, and this Nexus, like, Jotchi could almost just pull this up and go for the Nexus kill, but instead he's gonna take out all the probes. Stalker's gonna be driven away, and this army that's gonna move to react.
Recall.
Well, actually, I really like the recall choice, but
yeah,
unfortunately,
rarely ever.
Just clean it up. Still, a lot of probes died though. That was such a cool move though with the observer, but this pushes a lot of units towards the main. The robo facility's getting focused down. There's no saving it. This Colossus is not going to get out. There are still 2 available, mind you, but there's almost no stalkers left after that attack. The Vikings, the most awkward Vikings I've ever seen in my life. They're going to kill one of the Colossus, and Puck can't produce more right now.
And the drop in the natural, again, doing a lot of damage. Stalkers pretty much tried to clean it up, but Stalkers really aren't good by themselves. A lot of probes did go down again. He gets out with at least one medevac in that poor Marine. Well, he's sacrificial, but that was great multi-pronged attacks by Jauchi. He got the Colossus maker, the robotic facility.
You know you have a brain fart when. But no, that was critical. And not only that, he killed one of the Colossus. So it's a lot easier for Puck. Like, Colossus are exponentially better, guys. The more you have, the quicker units die. Puck's trying to get third right now, but he's got no real means of defending it. But it's kind of a necessary thing. Like, he took those hits, he took the losses, he doesn't have the production. But honestly, right now, if he could afford it, 2 Robos is what he needs. Because he just, one Colossus is not going to cut it. He's got a lot of Zealots, no charge. He's got Stalkers with Blink, granted, but there's a lot of Marauders in this army. Quite frankly, too many Vikings or even these Stalkers to deal with.
Oh, this is going to be a massacre. Just, yeah, take down Colossus. Don't even bother taking shots from the Colossus on your ground army either. And take care of the army.
Good
nice
force fields. Gonna allow the Zealots to actually connect to this against Zealots with no charge.
No medevacs.
Actually gonna be really effective here, but the Vikings landing are also gonna dish out a ton of damage. More Zealots being warped in here. Puck is gonna be in a desperate hold, but he might just push this back with what he has.
There were no medevacs in that push. That was really important. Or maybe there was one that got sniped. I don't know. But still, like, he couldn't pick up those units that got force-footed off. And of course, just the lack of healing, obviously. So Jauchi immediately remedies that by building 4 medevacs.
A little overzealous with that counter push. I mean, he won the fight, but he didn't need to chase like that. One Colossus does pop out, and Marauders are going to stim forward, but I think they might just be a little too low. It's going to be so close. He tries to get the Colossus, does get the Colossus, but loses everything in the process. Both players kind of losing a big portion of their army, but the difference is Joshi's able to remake his, while Puck cannot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still trying to, get those Colossus out, but honestly, Colossus really aren't a great way to get back into a game where you're down. Seriously, it's they're easily snipeable by a lot of Marauders. Of course, just plain Vikings can deal with them too if you sacrifice them. And
I like the force fields out of Puck though. He's making really good use of them.
They're very good force fields. I mean, he's using the fact that he doesn't have charge. Fine. Like, he's making it okay.
Yeah, he's working around it. Normally times it's just kind of like, okay, dead in the water, but Puck is making situations that were otherwise game ending allow him to stay for a little bit longer, but at this point still, like, Joshi's even gonna have the upgrade lead. I mean, where's the chrono boosts on those forges, right? I mean, this is not something you usually see TVP.
When you're building sentries at this point, that's usually, I feel like it's a bad sign. You want to be like trading off the sentries and that by now to have like a gigantic army.
The scan's going to confirm there's not much here. Simeon from multiple angles. This Colossus is going to try and fall back, but good force fields actually keep the left side out, allowing the Colossus to live again a little bit longer. This is like Puck's mantra, living longer than he should, but losing still a lot here on the front lines.
Jauchi is giving away units, slowly, but it doesn't matter. He's on 5 bases.
Yeah, he's able to reproduce. He's never really falling below 70 supply, and this is looking pretty grim for Puck. And IVD Gaming, guys, as much as I love them, this is their last life. If Puck falls here, so does the team.
And it looks like he will. Tries to keep that third base for as long as possible, gives it up at the last second, or at least pulls the probe, I suppose, to help out.
Punisher Corps finally back in play. This was something I was kind of hoping that would be earlier. An overcharge would have been really nice to accompany this, but Colossus, again, it's like a really slow tug-of-war. Good game is going to be called. Ladies and gentlemen, my insanity will make it out of the first round in today's Acer Team Story Cup qualifiers, taking out IVD Gaming 5-2 in the end.